Welcome back to Lazy History Club, where the tea is hot, the fire is cozy, and America's paperwork is usually late. Today we're talking about Independence Day. July 4th, the big one, the Star-Spangled Spectacular. The date burned into calendars and sparklers and cheap barbecue aprons across the nation. But here's the thing. For almost 100 years, July 4th wasn't even a real holiday. The country threw parties. Cities launched fireworks. Presidents died dramatically. But Congress forgot to make it official. The United States of America, land of liberty, freedom, and bureaucratic oversights. Let's unpack how we accidentally celebrated an unofficial holiday for nearly a century. So, July 4th, 1776, the big date. The Continental Congress adopts the Declaration of Independence, and John Hancock slaps his famously flamboyant signature at the bottom. Great. But fun fact, most of the other signers weren't even there yet. Some were on vacation. Others didn't sign until August. Still, the printed version said July 4th, so that's the one we stuck with. Philadelphians heard about the vote and, naturally, partied immediately. Bonfires, public readings, bells ringing. A year later, in 1777, they set off actual fireworks to celebrate the first anniversary. Boom! A tradition was born. But officially, there was no law, no declaration from Congress. No, let it be known that this shall be a national holiday forevermore. Just vibes. Glorious gunpowder-scented vibes. By the early 1800s, the 4th of July was the people's holiday. It had everything. Parades with homemade flags, public toasts featuring bold speeches, and slightly illegal moonshine. Children's choirs singing odes to liberty while eating pickled eggs. One Massachusetts town declared July 4th the true American Sabbath. Bold, considering everyone was drunk by noon. Newspapers ran annual tributes. Churches held special services. Theatres staged dramatic reenactments of the signing. Cities competed to see who could blast their cannons the loudest. Which is how, in 1824, Charleston accidentally blew a hole in its own courthouse roof. But while Americans believed it was a holiday, it still wasn't one. Congress didn't pass anything. Presidents didn't declare anything. The federal government just kind of smiled politely and let the people run wild with patriotism. Now, to be fair, early Congress had a lot going on. Writing laws, fending off European empires, figuring out how banks work, trying not to duel each other every Tuesday. So we can maybe forgive them for not getting around to formalizing a holiday that everyone was already celebrating. Except, this went on for nearly a century. Congress made time for all kinds of things, creating a national mint, debating the number of stripes on the flag, inventing entire new holidays like Election Day and Washington's birthday. But the 4th, still unofficial. No vote, no bill, no memo. Even as 3 presidents literally died on July 4th, and one was born on it, the government continued pretending it didn't need to put anything in writing. It's like if your entire country just assumed every Tuesday was pizza day. And after 95 years, someone said, wait, should we maybe tell someone? Finally, in 1870, someone in Congress blinked. Specifically, they passed a law recognizing 4 holidays for federal workers in Washington, D.C. New Year's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving. And yes, at long, long last, Independence Day. That's right. It took almost a century to realize, hey, maybe we should let federal employees officially take the day off from work. Now, this was still a limited recognition. It only applied to workers in D.C. The rest of the country, still running on tradition and peer pressure. It wasn't until 1938 that July 4th became a paid federal holiday for all US employees. That's 162 years after independence. Just imagine the paperwork backlog. So there you have it. America's most iconic holiday. Unofficial for nearly 100 years. Partially recognized for 150. Fully formalized only after half the population had already exploded something in its honor. It's the most American thing possible. A celebration we all agreed on first and got around to legalizing much, much later. So next time someone says July 4th is sacred and traditional and legally important, just remember, for the Founding Fathers, it was more of a really good long weekend. Stay lazy, stay curious, and maybe put your holiday on paper next time.